Let's get started using Fluency Tutor for Google. First thing I'm going to do is just going to go ahead and do a Google search for Fluency for Tutor. And we're going to install the app that goes on your Chrome. So what you can do is click on Fluency Tutor for Google in the Chrome Web Store. You can also go to the Chrome Web Store and install it from there as well, but this is one easy way to do that. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And once this comes up, you need to click Add to Chrome. Now this app is installed on your Chrome browser. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and visit website. It's going to ask you a few questions. Are you a teacher or student? I am actually presenting as a teacher right now, so go ahead and click I am a teacher. And once you get started, go ahead and agree to the terms and let's get started. You might want to watch the video that's offered there as well for the first time using it. Okay, now that you're logged into your Fluency Tutor, you can go ahead and this is your dashboard. And you'll notice at the top right hand corner, this is the first time logging in. And you'll notice this expires 30 days from March 28th. So I have 30 days to use the full version of Fluency Tutor, which is a great way to really get the understanding of this particular tool. One thing we need to do is get our students enrolled. So once we do that, you'll want to click on Students, and I strongly recommend that you use the tool Google Classroom to share the content to your students, share the passages through Google Classroom. So this isn't a demonstration on how to set up Google Classroom, but I have provided a link on the presentation if you need more information on Google Classroom. But in reality, I already have a Google Classroom set up, but I need to make sure I can sync my students with the Fluency Tutor. So I have this link here. It says using Google Classroom. Do you want to sync your students? And I do. So I'm going to go ahead and click here to enable that classroom integration with Fluency Tutor. So it's asking for acceptance and allowance to those tools. So once that's accepted, you'll have, notice I'm importing my Google Classroom and I have a class one-to-one conference. I'm going to go ahead and update my class roster and I'm going to view my students. Okay, once that comes up here, give it a minute. It's downloading my recent classes and we are good to go. So now I'm going to show you how to share a passage through Fluency Tutor and also integrating with Google Classroom. Okay, so now let's share a passage. I have two students in my Google Classroom. I have Superman and Batman. So Superman is at a reading age or a level of grade or age 7, let's say. Superman is age 7 and Batman is age 9. Well, I'm not going to share them the same passage because they read at different levels. Now, Fluency Tutor does have reading levels by age or lexile score. So those are the two ways you can determine what type of reading level they're at. So I am going to go ahead and use Google Classroom to share my content. So again, Superman is at 7. So I'm going to share this passage right here. So a book is a book and its cover. I'm going to click on that passage. I'm going to share it. And it's going to bring up a pop-up window here. And I'm going to choose my one-to-one conference class and I'm going to create an assignment, or I can make an announcement, however you want to do it. That doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and hit go and I'm going to say read passage, so on. Now what we have done in Atlantic is I will then put the name of the student that needs to read this passage. So if I had more than one student that is at level 7 or reading level 7, grade level 7, I would then type their name here. So I could be Superman, Robin, however you want to say, can be that reading level here. That's how it's worked in our class and it was worked really well. They just know to find their name and that date and I'm going to assign that. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this one more time. I don't need to view it right now, but I'm going to go back to share passage and I'm now going to share this one, Friends for Life, through Google Classroom, and now this one's going to be Batman because he's at a different level. Now you can share this through Google Drive if you want, however you feel comfortable, but we like the Classroom as just a one place, and with the Classroom extension it works really well. So I'm going to say Friends, read passage, Friends, and then again, this is going to be Batman. And you can change the date and so on. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how it works for the student side. Okay, so I am now logged into Batman, and you can see that I'm over here in the top right-hand corner is Batman. In our school district, we use a lot to help with the little kids. We have installed the Share to Google Classroom extension. That's right here, and it's really quick for them to get to their classroom. That's another reason why we choose to use Classroom versus some of the other options. The other thing is they could go down here and go to More, and even more and find Classroom. But again, we really like it when they go here and click right directly to the one-to-one classroom. And then they can go ahead and open the classroom. It's just a quick way for the students to access Google Classroom. Now again, I'm under Batman, and Batman has never been on Fluency Tutor, so this is going to be a demonstration on how it looks like for the very first time of them logging in. So you'll notice again they have the 2 assignments on Google Classroom, and it says Batman assignment is right here, Friends for Life. So I'm going to go ahead and open that passage, and excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm going to click right here, Friends for Life. I'm going to click on the link. And since it's the very first time logging into Fluency, it's going to make sure I'm going to give them full access to my account information, and the answer is allow. So again, this is a one-time thing. This is not something your students have to do every time. Once you allow, it's going to also ask you again to install the, not again, but for the very first time, to install the Chrome, from the Chrome Web Store, the Fluency Tutor. So we're going to go ahead and install that. This might be a great way, or you can ask your tech people to push this app out through their Google Apps domain, which is what we've done for the students as well. So again, just saves them time. They won't have to do those additional steps, but if they do, more than likely you'll be able to walk them through it. So here's the passage that they have, for example, for Batman is Friends for Life. There are some little tips and tricks. So you want them to record their story because that is how you're going to assess their story. So I'm going to go ahead and click record. And you'll notice at the very top, this is something that most of the students will miss, especially at the younger level. You need to make sure they allow to access your microphone. So you again have to walk through these steps. I'm going to go ahead and allow. And you'll notice this is the other thing they will forget. They'll forget to click start recording. So make sure they click start recording. I'm going to go ahead and just read a little bit of this story. The novel, Friends for Life, is a story about a girl who learns what friendship means, and so on. So the kid will continue reading the story, and when the student is done, they can click stop recording, and then when they are completely done, they can click I'm finished, and then it's sent to you as a teacher. They also can play back their recording, which is a very powerful tool, so they can play back what they have just read. So again, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and click I'm finished and send it to the teacher. Now, some other things you can do as a student is also hear the story before they even read it. So you can see up here, I'm under a book in its cover for Superman, and I can play the movie, or excuse me, play.
Adrian liked to read every night before going to sleep. Adrian liked to.
You also have the option of that story being read to the student, and you have with the paid version. Again, we're under the paid version for 30 days. Or the free trial. There's the dictionary, there's a Pictionary, there's some translate, and there is different speeds. So if you want them to hear it in a different speed, you can do that as well. So again, you have some ways for them to hear the story and how it should be read before they even record their passage. So again, some powerful tools within Fluency Tutor. It is now time to assess your students' passages. So for example, I am under the Assessments tab right here. If you want to click on Assessments, and you'll have your students' recent passages here. And I'm going to assess Superman's, which is a book and its cover. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the green circle, and I'm going to go ahead and score this passage. And again, this is the paid version. You do not have this if you do not have this past your 30 days. So what you'll need to do then is play the passage, the most recent recordings. As you can see, I've been messing around with Superman. So you'll notice the most recent passage is right here, and that's the one you want to score. So I'm going to go ahead and push play and watch what I do. Adrian liked to read every night before going to sleep. This night. So I can choose what was wrong with that error. So let's just...
Adrian was extra excited. Her father had taken her library book to check out a book she'd been waiting for, Surfer Girl Adventures Part 6. Adrian could not wait to read the newest release. Soon after,
and so on. You would continue doing that. The other thing you need to do to make sure that you get the right fluency count and word count is you need to make sure you insert that 1 minute marker as well. So that will also give you the amount of words correct and so on. Once you've made all those corrections, you would go ahead and save the scoring, and then you do get a rubric to make sure you feel you can rate your students' readings during that time as well, which is another way to have that data and any comments, and you can also tell Superman, great job. Oofa, great job. So that in a nutshell is kind of how Google or Fluency Tutor for Google works. The other thing I want to make note of, you can create your own passages, and I'm not going to spend much time on that because I think that is the next step, and we really just want to introduce Fluency Tutor. But on the dashboard, you do have an option to create content from like a Google Doc or more web-based, like maybe you found a great article that you want to use. So if you want to create your own content, you would need to install this extension. Extensions are what's up here on the top right-hand corner. So that is something you can definitely test out. But you can definitely, my two things that I would make sure you have is the Google Classroom setup. It'll make your life so much easier. Or you could use Google Drive. That's fine if you have like a small class and you're just using this as an individual intervention. But if you're using a classroom size intervention, I would strongly recommend that you use this as a Google Classroom. Anyway, good luck. Thank you.